Over to our next question, please, and that's from Beverley from the National Holocaust Museum.
Hi, my name's Beverley Jeffree. I am the Families and Inclusive Learning Officer at the National Holocaust Museum. So my question for the Chief Constable on community cohesion is, how do you plan on bringing community cohesion around young people and giving them a voice in the community?
Okay, I mean, a lot of this is in partnership with, obviously, our education providers. We will sort of definitely work in partnership with the schools, the colleges and the associated sort of educational establishments. We do a lot of work with our schools engagement officers. So, we have them identified for each of our secondary schools, where we'll try and build that sort of trust, confidence, social responsibility that goes into that. We start younger than that, though, with our mini police. So, we have a number of schools, in both city and county, where we actually engage with, members of the community, sort of between 7 and 9 years of age. And cohesion and respect for each other and respect for each other's values and backgrounds is one of the absolutely key sort of golden threads that run through the mini police. So that's key. The National Holocaust Centre, the Galleries of Justice, then we work in partnership with both of those areas where we can, then people go on educational journeys. We can also divert people into those areas where we have individuals who have either been dealt with through either an out-of-court disposal or one of their conditions, to actually point them in the direction to actually go and listen to the sort of lived experiences and listen to the background as to how we can try and improve that. So I think we work with our partners in education, but we've also do targeted activity where it's appropriate to actually try and build that trust and confidence and that cohesion. There is still a lot more to do, and I think then probably this week is one of those weeks where you look at and say, I think our reporting and our national picture around communities that feel that they are either under siege or at risk, starts to increase. We've seen that in the national media, not just for Nottinghamshire. So we actually do sort of reach out at those times and actually touch base with those community leaders. But if you wish to add anything.
Further to that, because of the independent advisory group, which used to be one holistic representation of all the groups, we've now got strands. We actually have the Youth Independent Advisory Group strand, so the direct voices from the young people can be voiced at that strand, that can be fed back to the strategic. I think that's a key element, feel part of policing around policy, procedures, practices. And on top of that, the work that I do around with new recruits, a community dialogue. Unfortunately, if it runs during school term, I may not be able to get all the right age group, but we do at times have representation from the young people to come and voice and have that direct dialogue with the new recruits about their personal experience or what they've heard or what they've seen, and equally and more importantly as well, around tips and advice how to engage when the police are out there operationally. So I think there is some real good work for young people to have their voices heard, but again I think more work can be done.
Okay. Any questions from anyone? No? Okay, thank you for that.